Hi, Kyoji here. I'll be reacting to The Rise of Bangtan, Chapter 4, Reflection. Uh, Many people have stated that thankfully, they don't mind me talking too much. So uh, I'll try to run with my thoughts if I could. Uh, anyway, here we go. I'll try not to ramble too much though. I think this the second album is the where they start to really get some steam. Not only Korea but internationally too. And personally, it's my I really like all the songs during this time. It was just so catchy and good, you know.
사람들은 당신을 이렇게 생각합니다. 한 장씩 넘기면서 큰 소리로 읽어주세요. 랩몬스터 완전 아이돌 얼굴 아닌 크크. 방탄소년단에서 랩하는데 못생긴. 아이돌로 데뷔했다는 건 래퍼를 포기한 거 아닌가? 이 노래를 힙합이라고 할 수 있나? 전혀. 방탄소년단 랩 가사? 그것도 가사야. 증명하겠습니다.
And you know that there are a lot of things that I do like about Korean people, Korea's, Korean people as a whole. But they're they're quick to judge and they don't mind saying it to you. I mean, and I feel like there's so many groups that come out, and what's the point of just saying these rude and mean things? What's the point? What's the whole point? I mean, they should be busy fanboying or fangirling over whoever they think is perfect for them. Why are they go running around just bothering other people? You give me And it's really sad how the RM said, yeah, prove it. Actually, these people who speak like that, you don't need to prove to them anything. You should prove to yourself, not to those. 사랑하는 법 10대던 20대던 같아 사랑하는 건 RA So now I'm telling you the story 난 이렇게까지 사랑해봤어 넌 어떠니 This is just an intro shining by my whole mind and body You know that her refusals and rebels could never stop me They could never return me This is my ideology Who in the world came there with my heart's blood? Nobody 이게 한마디로 방탄 style 이게 한마디로 방탄 style 방탄 style 방탄 style What's up? The reflection. 서울 예고.
안녕하세요. 겨울 교원입니다. 야 학교 갑니다. 입학식 하러 갑니다. 엄마 아빠 나요. 긴장된다.
태양아 꼰디? 오빠 가방에 뭐 들었냐?
가방 나 책이요.
편식. 교무실이 어디야?
안녕하세요.
정말 어디죠?
Until now, I mean, I saw this, these clips from some other documentaries and stuff, and I always thought this was graduation for some reason, and he's just entering high school, which makes sense because he's what, 15, 16? Wait, 15 American age? The Korean school system is
6 years of grade school, and then 3-year middle school, 3-year high school system. I believe the American is 5-3-4, and it's different. The education system is so different between countries. So, but God, he's so baby here.
귀엽네요. 저기 서 있으니까. 집에서는 어른인데.
학교 다니고 싶다. 공부해보고 싶다. 아, 공부해보고 싶다, 갑자기. 진짜.
말도 걸고 그래.
제가 저 먹고 싶은 거 먹었거든요. 저 짜장면 먹으러 왔습니다.
That's it. 짜장면.
저 짜장면 먹겠어요.
엄마 당장 먹어야지.
2014년 1월 3일 진내로그
Oh, how sweet. They
2014년
all went to his.
성인이 되었다. 되게 약간의 씁쓸함 같은 거. 되게 어렸을 때부터 이제 성인에 대해서 생각을 많이 했었었다. 뭐 성인이 되면 이제 풀리게 되는 제한들이 생길 것이고, 되게 성인이 된 1월 1일 아침 똑같은 일상, 똑같은 숙소에 똑같은 멤버에 똑같은 일상에 똑같은 스케줄.
I think the translation left out that he was talking about the things that are not prohibited for non-adults. He was talking about how he would be free to the world would change a bit because there won't be certain restrictions. Like I think he's not talking about becoming 20, where he can actually start to drink, buy alcohol, cigarettes, or those all the things that were. You become an adult legally. I mean, that's the deal. But they're stuck as a trainee, so of course, same old stuff. Huh?
이제 남준형이라든지 이제 호병이라든지 한 살 차이밖에 안 나는데 되게 뭔가 생각의 깊이가 너무 차이가 크다고 생각했었는데,
참 2014년에 더 내가 나를 더 많이 보여주고 내가 어느 정도의 끝까지 올라갈 수 있는지, 방탄소년단이 어느 레벨까지 올라갈 수 있는지 한번 꼭 시험해보고 싶다. 재밌을 것 같다. 아, 대박나자! 진짜 뭐 정말 이제 곧 컴백을 앞두고 있고 아미들도 이제 저희를 보실 걸 기다리는 일만 남았거든요. 정말 그래서 이렇게 또 올해 저희 정말 쉴 틈 없이 정말 바쁘게 아미들과 같이 활동을 할 거니까 올해도 항상 행복하시고 건강하시길 바랍니다. 건강하세요. 저희 정말 야심차게 준비했습니다.
새해 복 많이 받으세요.
많이 가지러 볼게.
방탄 화이팅!
되고파 너의 오빠 너의 사랑이 난 너무 고파 되고파 너의 오빠 널 갖고 말 거야 두고 봐 왜 내 맘을 흔드는 건데
はっきりした個性で人気上昇中のアイドル防弾少年団。
Why? I guess this is not from Japan. Why is the background? The voice was in Japanese, but I think this is. I guess they're performing in Japanese show. I don't think so.
네, 저희 타이틀 상남자는요, 저기 패기 넘치는 사랑이 고스란히 담겨 있고요. 그리고 상남자스러운 퍼포먼스 무대와
I think this is the album where they really, got things going. They got the traction, and yeah, this is where they. And for me too. Like I remember when they first came out, it's like a little bit of an oddity how they wanted to incorporate. Like they dressed a little overly like a rapper or something. Cool. But that was the impression of the first album. So they were memorable, but starting from this album, the music, I remember like there's so many good songs in the album. It was just banger, and their dancing, their demeanor, their clothes, it was a lot more calmed down. Yeah, I think this is where they really start to get going.
아프렘ばかりの男っぷり防弾少年団
Again, it's Japanese. I think they took it out of Japanese. What do you call that? Like a Japanese documentary type of a deal. And anyway, another thing is that the name of the song, I just realized it was 상남자. Actually, it's weird that I never watched like music shows and things like that. I mean, only through YouTube. Like when I have some time, I would watch YouTube and listen to Korean music and I look at like new music videos and stuff. I mean, that's how I got into it. So I never really looked through Korean stuff. But anyway, Boys in Love is actually 상남자. 상남자 means real man or like a macho. Yeah, little. Yeah, and I think that became Boy in Love. It's not really exactly the same thing, but anyway, that's what it means. It's like a macho or manly man, passing on.
이게 땀이지.
너무 더워요.
Look how much they're sweating.
선생님, 저를 쉬게 해주시면 안 돼요? 진짜
저희 지금 한 달 넘게
진짜 너무
눈 뜨면 안무였습니다.
설날 때도요.
진짜 말해주세요.
근데 그러면 안 돼. 선생님 하루만 쉬게 해주세요.
하루만.
Let's go.
남준이를 옆에서 보고 있으면은 확실히 답답할 것 같긴 해요. 저라면 못했을 거예요.
남준이랑은 예전에 방탄소년단 연습생을 같이 했었지만 전 안 했죠.
11.
좀 안 맞았어요. 어디를 가도 허락을 맡아야 되고 그냥 통제죠. 싹 다 통제. 모든 게 통제돼 있으니까.
그렇죠. 답답한 때도 있고.
There's one man who's done more than almost anybody else to shape K-pop, Suman Lee of SM Entertainment.
미국 유학을 가서 그러면서 그때 MTV가 시작이 됐습니다. 초점을 두고 해외를 나가야 되겠다라고 생각을 하면서 엔터테인먼트 사업을 시작했었습니다.
Suman Lee's global ambition didn't get off to the best of starts. His first signing, former dancer Hyunjin Young, went to prison for drugs possession.
Because we consider them as idols, we don't allow any speck of dust on them. So we don't just stop at saying drugs is bad, don't do it. We don't do that. We say you are out of this industry. You shall forever be banned from the stage.
The scandal was a valuable lesson for Suman Lee, who realised that to be successful, his artists would not only need to be incredible performers, they'd also have to be impeccably behaved. And so he began developing a system for training raw talent.
The system ended up being a great success, and every major South Korean managerial company to this day follows it.
This is only from my experiences, but managements could always check your phone at any time that they want. No junk food, no going out.
They have terms like no dating, dieting, some even have like plastic surgery.
I remember that I was too dark, like my skin was too tan and I had to brighten my skin. I know that there's a standard. I know that there is this goal that we're all trying to achieve. And, you know, being in an industry where it's so visually focused, you know, you're gonna go through the checklist of, okay, is your hair on point? Is your face on point? Is what you're wearing good?
아이돌한테 규칙 필요하다고 생각해요?
아니요. 아니요, 그렇다. 없었으면 좋겠어요. 아이돌도 일반 사람 같았으면 좋겠어요. 저는 개인적으로.
가장 먼저 없어져야 되는 게 이제 규칙적인 거고 창조적인 걸 하거나 그런 거에 있어서 방해가 되는 부분이 있는 것 같아요.
아, 왜 이렇게 작업이 안 될까? 가사가 안 나온다. 뭔가
There's a lot to say about this one. A lot of things they have said is true, and how it was edited was great too. But where it's going, I'm not exactly sure. I actually have I started Y series to explain certain aspects of the K-pop industry, and one of them was like why K-pop idols are nice. And yeah, it basically goes into detail about why idols need to be nice. And it's not only because Lee Soo-man did it and they follow it because he's so smart. It's all about money. For bigger, better companies, it takes about 100K per idol per year just for training. Forget about everything else, just training. 100K to 200K, that's what they say. So if you got like 9 of them, that's quite a lot of money. And there are also idols, trainees who never really get to, debut. Like the people who couldn't last the training system, those rappers and 11 and some other guy and stuff like that. Well, the company paid for them too, for their food, their education, their training, whatever they needed, they provided. So, all in all, costs a lot of money, and and your idols misbehaving, it just doesn't make any sense. And I think one thing that's missing in this train of thought was the target market. By 2000, this should be 2014, around there, or 15, something like that. Well, it got much, much better. However, from the onset, K-idol, when Lee Soo-man and YG and those guys started, the market was, forget predominantly, it was basically middle school and high school girls, students. They were the target market. There was almost no other group. If guys listen to some, where you stand some idols or something, you're like, oh man, people laugh at you. Later on, like girl group became a thing, but that's why in the beginning it was mostly boy groups, and girl groups were few and far between, and their power was not even close to what the boys had. And this has to this day is retained a certain amount, I think. But right now it's worldwide, of course, and the age group has gotten a lot bigger, older. However, what you guys have to remember is that the whole system was born out of that market. So, of course, why else? I mean, you're putting in tons of money and you're investing into it, and it's girls. They're fickle. They don't understand that, you know, some guy can get drunk, and I mean, you know what I'm saying. And so how I look at it is the market demanded it, and investment and risk that was involved. Of course, nobody wants to be controlled. Nobody wants anything. Yeah, those cool rapper guys. Yeah, they need to experience life so that they can be creative. Are they more creative than an idol like RM or Sugar? I don't think so. You know, just them talking about controls no good, whatever. Yeah, but also discipline is needed if you're gonna be really good at something. Discipline and hard work makes you better. Um, so I don't know. I guess you do need free mind for creative process and free spirit. At the same time, uh, which sounds polar opposite, but you also need a lot of hard work and discipline. So I think they should have covered. And you know, I hope you guys don't get what they're talking about, like Amber from FX. You know, her skin color. You know, skin color is a big issue in Western culture, and so it also in Korea too. But I don't think Amber meant it that way. It is when she explains that she understands. The thing is, you guys also have to remember there are tons and tons of these trainees. SM had, you know, probably bucket load of very pretty, very fair skinned, you know, with long hair, pretty, just that fits the mold really, really well. Why the hell would they choose somebody like Amber? You know, she's boyish. She's not pretty. I mean, she doesn't have like, she's not sexy in the traditional idol sense, of course. Yeah, why would she was actually one of those who widened and broke the rules, you know, the mold of what K-pop idol has to be. She just didn't fit the mold. By the way, I love her. If you guys have some time, you should listen to her solo music. When FX was dissolving, there was some time where Amber did produce her like for her own solo music, and they were really, really good. It has depth and it's just wonderful. It's great music. You should check it out. But anyway, the thing is, she's one of those who broke the mold. Actually, you know, you don't have to look certain way to become be a, become an idol in, you know, the Korean K-pop scene. But here it seems like she was used in a certain way that the where average viewer might think, oh, you know, these sad people, you know, they were like hammered and molded into and forced into certain things. And I actually had someone, which you know, I banned the person, but who said such things as they took little kids from their parents and, you know, and forced them, you know, and made them live like animals or something, really harsh environment, this is such an atrocity in these days and age. Obviously, they don't have to do this. They can leave anytime they want. It's their choice. People made fun of RM, and Amber could have left anytime she wanted, and so and a lot of them did leave, and I'm sure they have wonderful life and their creative process is doing fine. But I'm not saying there's only one way to do it. You can become an indie singer or whatever the path you want to take. That's fine. But I hope you guys understand that yes, there's a reason for everything. I think they should be fairly judged. Yeah, I mean, just imagine you being you're an investor. You put in all this money, and you just let 17, 18-year-old. I mean, if you have children later, you let 16, 15-year-old kids do whatever they want without discipline, and they're beautiful and pretty, and they go out drinking and stuff, and and as an investor, forget parents. They put millions of dollars in them, and of course you would want to control their lives. And every idol who went in, they knew it. They didn't go into that blind. I mean, feeling it, actually being inside would have been different. Of course, I totally understand. But everybody walked in knowing what system was. Everybody knew how hard it was going to be. And they still, they went in there, and some stayed and some left. That's all there's to it.
영감이 안 떠올라. 이 로고에 이런 이야기를 담으면 뭔가 영감이 떠올리지 않을까? 그래서 이렇게 로고를 찍어본다. 이 로고가 끝나고 나면 난 다시 무한 작업 잘할 수 있겠지? 그래, 화이팅. 제이홉 화이팅. 제이홉 화이팅. 제이홉의 로그 끝. 영감이 떠올리게. 휴.
대남협이라고 옛날에 같이 이제 음악했던 친구들, 형들. 그럼 우리도 그냥 크루 한번 해보자. 그때부터 이제 쭉 같이 공연도 하고.
대남협이 인터뷰했을 때 랩콘에서
네.
뭐라고 했을 것 같아요?
막 아이돌 됐다고 막 이렇게 갑자기.
김남준은 방탄소년단이 됐네요.
근데
이럴 수가. 근데 너 화장하고 어떻게 나가?
나?
화장하고 어떻게 나가? 계집애처럼.
계집애처럼.
하나면 좀 스킬을 안 껴줘서 제가.
나도 참가하고 싶다.
네, 김남준은 방탄소년단이 됐네요.
대남협이지 나는.
랩은 잘해?
너무 어려워요.
네.
이제 소재가 안 돼요. 소재가 없어요. 그냥 똑같잖아요. 방송하고 집에 오고 준비하고 연습하고 가서 쓰고 다시 연습하고 그 다음에 다시 방송하고.
근데 나는 솔직히 너가 지금 약간 좀 진지빠는 얘기지만 이제 너는 되게 랩을 보여주고 싶어 하잖아. 좀 더 막 그런 거 있잖아. 막 너만 할 수 있는 얘기 있잖아. 언더그라운드라는 것 자체가 굉장히 인디펜던트하고 자기 자주성을 가지고 하는 거잖아요. 근데 아이돌이라는 거는 회사의 기획과 그래서 자기가 하고 싶은 걸 사실 할 수 없어요. 왜냐면은 회사에서 봤을 때는 이거는 대중들이 원하는 게 아닌데, 그러면은 이제 언더 매니아, 힙합 매니아라고 하는 사람들은 그런 거를 당연히 안 좋게 보죠.
If you look at the three biggest types of music in Korea, it's indie music, hip-hop music, and R&B. A reason for that is people want to hear truth. Hip-hop isn't necessarily intimate, but a lot of Korean hip-hop music is actually truth to power. Koreans want lyrics and music that is emotional and captivate you. We are going off the big, large generalization. In the large sphere of things, idols do not write their own lyrics. In idol music, the lyrics are largely shallow, and we can act like it's not, but it's not often that idol music has a lot of truth and power behind the lyrics. We, as K-pop fans, feel like it's unjust because they work so hard. What we are having trouble with being outside of the Korean context is it's derivative. To them, it's derivative. You can't get away with just a really good title track K-pop song. That's not how you build a fan base. That's not how you get loyalty. You use the title track to lure people in, to catch their attention. But if your B-sides can't show off that your group is special and different somehow, you're not going to survive.
누구나 어떤 뮤지션들이나 자기가 음악을 결과물을
Well said by K Culture. He was one of my favorites to watch. He still is. But one thing though, I do agree with what he's saying, but again, it's the same thing. I looked at it more from the market side. The K-pop started and was for like a decade or more based on target market was middle school and high school girls, so-called sonya, right? What kind of power to the truth, soul-searching lyrics can you actually do? And how many writers could SMYG or JYP buy? You think they don't have writers who can write very soul-searching, meaningful lyrics? You just only some indie guys can only write, has ability to, has linguistic powers enough to write meaningful lyrics. I doubt that. I truly doubt that. If they want to, they could. Any day. Bring some very guy who's very philosophical or whatever, who used to write, let's say, something very similar to rap or lyrics would be a poet, and or songwriters. There are a bunch of them. They're under their wing. But for longest time, the level of how simple a lot of these lyrics are is because the market demanded it. You don't want, you got to cater to your market. If everybody likes sweet candy and you're sitting there trying to sell, I don't know, cheese, it really ain't gonna work, is it? Another thing is the market size too. I mean, his point also makes sense, but another point is that Korean market is too small to have a one-hit wonder or just title track being good. It's just not good enough. Your fan base was too small, and it was ridiculously small. Korean market is really, really small. So they couldn't make a living. And I think I covered in my Y series too that most idols have to pay back what they have all the money that was spent on their training and everything else before they start to make real money, and it takes at least like a couple of years for most. Now thinking that and they don't have control over the music either, but the company who has invested money also need to get the money back. So they put a lot of time and effort, because in US, for example, American market, one hit wonder, you can live a lifetime with that money. Here, you could be an idol for 2 years, and a company might have had a team for 3-4 years, and both sides never made money. That's entirely possible. So they need to fill the album best they could. So hopefully they can get multiple hits, or at least have grow your fan base.
내고 그거에 대해서 뭐 혹평을 해주는 사람도 있는 거고 또 반면에 분명히 좋아하는 사람들도 있을 거란 말이죠. 그
스프링보이.
혹평들을 받아들여서 다음 앨범을 그 사람들까지도 만족시킬 수 있는 앨범을 만드는 게 아티스트로서의 성장 아닌가 싶어요.
힙합을 정말 사랑하는 음악 평론가 입장에서 이건 내가 공격받을 만하다라는 부분이 몇 가지 있고, 몇 가지는 이거는 편견이다. 좀 더 저희를 알아봐 주시고 조금 더 저희의 히스토리라던가 그런 거를 아셨으면 그렇게까지는 안 쓰시지 않았을까 라는 생각은 들어요.
그 데뷔하기 전에는 이미 언더그라운드에서 래퍼로 활동을 하셨더라고요. 그러니까 몇 살 때부터 한 거예요?
14살 때부터 중1 때부터 활동을 했었는데요. 이제 그렇게 좀 어릴 때부터 힙합을 많이 좋아해서
Man, I remember the first time I checked out Cypher. Oh man. I think this was the first one, isn't it? Where is number 2? I think it's number 2, maybe. But anyway, he was, not only him, but Suga and everyone, they were just, all three of them, they were just exceptionally good. They're way beyond my imagination. I mean, I also had certain prejudices, thinking that, yeah, I heard they're pretty good. Yeah, I thought they'll be good, you know. But didn't know they were this good. It was just the flows, the changes, the rhythm, the words, the word arrangement. It blew my mind, basically.
오늘도 점수를 매겨 래퍼 여기 원피스 난 흰 수염 너는 그냥 긴 수염 한마디로 매겨 fucking 히히하하 띠띠빵빵 신속사백 나가 절차 창마에 절차 밟아 쌍가리고 싹 다 잡아 총스톤 낙낙낙아 Fry the whole bitch 빙빙 파우파우 너 울면 찾아가지 니네 아빠 시시각각 랩 피자들의 목을 채우는 voice PC 방마감
저는 RM의 공개곡을 처음 들었던 순간이 아직도 생생합니다. 주제를 다루는 사고의 깊이와 언어 사용의 유려함, 랩을 한국말로 풀어가는 창조적인 방식 등이 당장 이 친구와 미팅을 잡으라고 했던 기억이 납니다. 이런 실력을 가진 친구를 그냥 둘 수 없다.
하늘로 올라가 진짜 fuck it 추석 난널 잊었어 나의 목소리 나의 헤게모니 1부터 10까지 싹 다 내가 키웠어 나온 세상을 내 혀 위에 올려놓지 근데서 놀아 I ain't spilling low shit on the CD and MTV you can see me and feel me so PD GG bitch I'm a monster
슈가군은
네,
소속사에서
그렇습니다.
주최한 전국 랩 배틀 오디션에서 2등.
네, 그렇습니다.
힙합 꼰대들 목에 힘들어간 것 좀 보세 니같이 한스 노대 BTS 시상에서 너네 밤새자 퍼질러다 너 everyday I'm workaholic shopaholic 네 팬보다 많은 팬을 가소비하며 all-in time 걸린
또 제이홉은 당시에 지역에서 춤을 잘 추는 걸로 정평이 나 있었던 친구고요. 지민도 예술고등학교에 수석 입학한 수재였습니다. 저는 방탄소년단이라는 아이들이 반짝반짝 빛나는 멋진 스타에서 한 걸음 더 나아가길 바랐습니다.
내가 어디까지 가나 봐라 소금뿌리 싹다 갈아엎어 모두 한판 예상하지 못한 파란 노력 없이 한탄만 내들면 막상 꼴에 음악 한다 치고 놀 때 알바 아니나도 알아봐라 널 잡고 가는 다른 커리어는 하나만 하겠지만 꼭 살아남아 꾸준히 죽서가 아마 니들 꼬리표는 아마 추억 같은 인생 너 이름은 안 와봐라 네 덩치에 비해 이름은 가는 뻔네 붕어처럼 널 볼 때마다 맘만 뻔난 네 음악의 커리어 동맥에 마침표
Man, all of the cipher was so much anger and, about all the injustices and all the bullshit that was thrown at them. And they were very eloquent, very savage, and you could just feel, the hurt and anger within them. And it was just awesome. I mean, I think it's kind of safe to say that the RM and Suga, especially RM, was the heart of BTS. Bang PD from Sleepy and was it there was another. I think it was Park Hwa-bi, maybe female soloist. I think he was introduced to him. RM was introduced to him through them. But anyway, the interesting thing is because of the depth and who he was, I think, you know, Bang PD was able to invest so much and give that much trust, you know? And Suga too later on.
Yeah!
뜬금없이 영상을 찍게 된 이유는 맨날 팬분들한테 받기만 해서 항상 죄송하고 미안했는데 이제는 드려야 될 때가 온 것 같습니다.
How sweet.
슈가 형 뭐예요? 여기 있어. 나중에 가줄게. 알았어요? 어차피 일 다 해야 돼. 네, 열심히 있습니다.
Man, they're doing the fan meet and he has written it's a written handwritten note for all his fans. That's so sweet, man. Utterly impossible these days,
좋다.
right?
시간도 늦었어. 빨리.
Humanly impossible.
잘하셔서. 아 짱이야. 형 이거 저희가 해주는데 뭐 해주실 거예요? 야 피자 콜? 오 말했어 이 영상 더 하세요.
형 제가 그날만은 제가 진짜 아침부터 밥을 안 먹고 갈게요. 아니 몇 개야? 아니에요.
한 박스 끝.
진짜요? 형이 쓴 멘트 중에 제일 마음에 드는 거. 이거 고를까요? 언제나 사랑할게. 이거 좋다. 이거 완전 좋은데요? 이거 보니까 기분 좋아. 살 빼지 마. 와, 형 이거 모르겠습니다. 추워.
시간이 참 저희도 모르게 참 이런 걸 준비해가지고 몰랐어요.
그냥 가라 했어요. 우리
중요한 게 뭔지 아세요?
이랬는데.
저한테 이런 거 준 적이 없어요. 너무 멋있는데 진짜 서운할 뻔했어요 진짜.
안녕하세요. 방탄소년단입니다. 너무 좋고요. 오늘 와주셔서 정말 감사합니다. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷. 생일 축하합니다. 네, 그렇게 막 엄청 대단한 건 아니고요. 와, 박수!
주말에 했었어야 되는데 심심한 휴가 한 대씩 때려주세요. 좋네요. 제가요.
내추럴. 맨날 전에 새벽 늦게까지 작업했어요. 레몬이. 뭐 레몬이는 뭐 일상이 작업이기 때문에. 왜 저 끼웠잖아요, 방금.
잠깐 올라갈게요.
네.
안녕하세요.
Man, must have been really hard, huh? If doing his creative work while being part, being an idol is a full-time job as is.
멋지게 하고 있습니다.
그래도 아이돌이라서 좋은 점도 되게 많고, 그리고 사실 큰 무대에 서는 게 쉽지가 않은데 큰 무대 그리고 방송에서 나를 더 알릴 기회를 더 많이 얻었고요. 실제로 그거 덕분에 더 많은 사람들이 제 음악을, 제 목소리를 듣고 있고 제 무대를 보고 있으니까. 어떻게 생각하세요? 제 생각을 제 음악으로 옮겨 담아서 그걸 사람들한테 들려준다. 지네 음악도 안 하고 그냥 회사에서 시키는데도 노래 받아서 춤이나 추는 것들이 무슨 가수냐. 니네가 무슨 아티스트냐. 저런 애를 더 이상 나오면 안 된다.
You know, I think early on, RM had, he wasn't thinking. The thing is, I really don't think, for example, Jungkook here cared what underground rappers were saying, or first of all, you know, he's not a rapper. Obviously, he was never underground people. People who you don't care about, they can't hurt you. You don't care what they say. You know, it's like, who cares? That's why I really think the RM really loved that scene. You know, he was rapping since he was 14 underground, right? I think his experience and his love for the music, the hip hop, and also that underground he must have loved it and the people in it and the whole scene. I believe he must have been really important to him. And I think that's why it hurt him so much when they start to say, you know, he's a deserter and he's a girl and all that stuff. Because if you don't care about them, it shouldn't bother you. But you can tell it just killed him inside. And he wanted to prove so hard, you know, that he's still a good artist and he's a great rapper. And he shouldn't have to prove himself to anybody. Only person you have to prove to yourself to is yourself. But yeah, early on, I think it was hurting him quite a bit. And I think it's because how much he really loved being that artist, hip hop artist when he was younger.
빨리 가고 싶다 집에. 엄마도 보고 싶다. 아빠도 보고 싶다. 모두가 날 기다리고 있을 것이다.
아이돌. 저는 되게 암담했어요. 아니, 암담하다기보다 되게 막막했어요. 이제 앞으로 저는 항상 하루에도 수백 번, 수천 번 생각해요. 이걸 내가 가지고 있는 아티스트적인 능력을 어떻게 더 증명할 것인가 부터 시작해서. 그래서 저는 사실 제가 방탄소년단에 들어온 이유는 하나인데, 그냥 내 목소리 그냥 최대한 많은 사람한테 들려주는 거, 그게거든요.
Yeah, see there, he looks desperate to prove to those guys, you know. Just he shouldn't have thought that way.
잡생각이 많아져서 굉장히 고생을 한다고 해야 되나? 집을 떠나서 산다기보다는 부모님과 같이 살고 싶다.
사실 저희만큼 정말 우리 힙합 하면서 슬로건을 걸고 나온 팀은 없는 것 같아요, 제 생각에. 그런 만큼 공격을 너무 많이 받고, 힙합을 사랑하는 분들, 뭐 저랑 맨날 같이 음악을 하던 분들도 심지어 저를 욕하고. 리얼하게 살고 싶다고 항상 생각을 했는데, 뭔가 기분이 좋지 않은데 기분 좋은 척 해야 될 수도 있고.
아들, 아빠가 잘 지내고 있지? 아빠, 엄마, 아들 태어나줘서 고마웠고, 사랑스러운 우리 호생이 생일 다시 한번 축하하고, 컴백에서 활동하고 있는 두 번째 미니 앨범 열심히 활동해 그동안 고생한 보람 꼭 얻을 수 있도록 아빠가 기원할게. 그리고 무엇보다도 아빠가 바라는 것은 내 건강이야. 아들 사랑한다. 제이홉 파이팅. 방탄소년단 파이팅.
Don't think about it too much, too much, too much, too much. There's no need for us to rush it through.
그래서 이제 아빠 나오니까 막 거기서 터지는 거예요. 울음이 나오는 거.
뭐
You know, I actually had someone who said the Korea needs to change in these time and that how they took 13, 14-year-old children away from their parents and, you know, forced them to these atrocities to become an idol. They could always leave. That's what makes these people important, and they deserve respect. They can walk away any day. You know, I mean, here they're not trainees here, but they were debuted, but they could all just walk away. But even after becoming an idol, you know, it's not an easy life for a while until you know, it's really. And even after you become famous, you want to keep that fame, and that also is not important, not easy. So, you know, it's really, yeah. I mean, they're still kids, you know. Just must have been pretty hard.
그냥 생각하기 나름인 것 같아요. 뭔가를 보고 싶어하는 사람은 그 보고 싶은 것만 보고 그 보이지 않는 것은 안 보니까요. 그리고 아마 정말 관심이 있고 아이돌이라는 것을 제대로 이해하려고 해봤다면 아마 그렇게 얘기하지 않을 것 같습니다. 저는 그렇게 생각해요.
Let it go. Wherever it is.
예, 여기는 못 가는 비행기 안.
Oh, they're in Thailand.
정국. 왔어.
2013년 5월 13일 촬영. 랩몬스터 로그.
안녕하세요. 오늘은 호평이 찍는 랩몬스터.
랩몬스터.
그 옆에는 진 열심히 뭘 하고 있는데 뭘 하고 있을까요?
싸가지 쇼가 얼마 전에 끝났다.
취침 들어가겠습니다.
프로를 하면서 이제 내가 얻은 결론은 그냥 나는 나다. 나는 아이돌도 아니고 아티스트도 아니고 힙합도 아니고 아무것도 아닌 그냥 나는 나. 나는 랩몬스터, 나는 김남준이다. 사실 뭐 그렇게 내가 이렇게 나를 소속하고 규정받고 싶어서 되게 안달이 나 있었는지 모르겠지만 사실 인간이라면 누구나 그럴 수도 있겠지만 내가 뭔가 더 갈망하지 않았나 이렇게 생각이 든다.
Man, he's scary mature. Exactly. I mean, you know, he just, yeah. Didn't take him too long to figure this out, huh? But of course, understanding or knowing something and feeling something else is totally different. The feeling certain way for a long time or having certain emotion, it lingers on a lot longer than your logic or your understanding of the world. It's just different, I'm sure. But you could tell he found certain peace in figuring things out, because it was never about those people, or underground rappers or whatever. It was always about him. He needed to be accepted by people he loved. I think that was the point. Or respected, or he loved, you know, the music too, the hip hop scene. But you know what? At the end of the day, only thing that's important is you loving yourself, which they make a great point of later on. But yeah, it's he just need to love himself. Who cares what other people say? Then everything will fall into place.
인생이 방황이라고 생각을 하기 때문에 인생 방황의 연속이고 사실 지금 더군다나 더 젊어서 많이 방황한 시기라는 생각이 든다.
테니스장에 왔어요. 추억이네요. 제가 어렸을 때 테니스 선수였는데 완전 잘해서 동상 탔어요. 세 팀 중에.
소비 좀 한다. 찍지 마요.
그냥 음악을 만들 때 뭔가 더 오래 곱씹을 수 있는 음악을 만들고 싶다는 생각을 한다. 처음에 꽂히고 처음에 다 알아들었으면 그런 직관적인 가사 음악도 좋지만 들을수록 더 맛이 나고 아 이런 뜻이었구나. 내가 이런 의미로 이렇게 썼었구나. 난 그런 음악을 더 만드는 게 나의 의무이고 좀 더 나의 오랜 팬들을 더 만들 수 있는 계기가 아닌가라고 생각을 한다.
여기는 a beach.
Beach?
Beach.
Beach?
나는 이제 좀 더 눈을 감고 귀를 닫고 내 안에 있는 나를 좀 더 찾아내서 끄집어내고 이런 일들을 좀 더 힘쓰고 그냥 다른 나의 길 간다는 생각으로 해야 될 것 같다고.
Man, he's yeah, he's all there. Yeah, they're in Thailand, right? It kind of look like Pattaya for a sec.
광합성 비타민 D
잘할 거다. 살아왔으니까 아마 그럴 것 같다. 나는 어차피 나니까. 오케이? 사라져. 앞으로도 좋은 음악 파이팅.
You know, dude, a guy that wise at that age, it's you know, well, of course, hindsight is 2020, but he just had it, didn't he? And what resonated with me a lot at the end, what he said is, you know, people say life is wandering. Well, it's kind of like how I said my thoughts on life. So I think it's a great way of looking at things. I look at life as like a journey. I mean, a lot of people say that it's a trip. You know, going from point A to point B or a certain place. We always end up the same place. You know, the life and death. Basically, it's a journey, and you meet people on the way, even family, friends, everybody. It's just part of the journey. Nothing is forever. It's the people who shared your journey, the sections, places that you were at. And you make choices and you see the world. You go where you want to go, and it ends at a certain point. And everybody has a choice, I think. You know, some people like to go to, for example, as a trip, like to go to like a expensive resort and stay there. You know, fly there by the private jet. I mean, they'll be their perfect journey for them. And some people like to do a backpack through India, for example. You can't say one is better than the other. It's just different. But, you know, you choose the path you want to go, and, you know, certain trips are more comfortable, and that has its positives. In my case, I'm more on the backpacking side. That means a lot more discomfort, a lot more pain, and trying to figure out a lot of more accidents, failures. But I always feel like you really meet a lot more people, experience a lot more, and make a lot more memories on the way. And I think he also, the RM, figured out it. He shouldn't, but he doesn't need to wander too much. He really didn't. I don't think he was right on track pretty quick. I think for a while and emotionally, I think it did matter to him for a long time afterwards, because your feeling just doesn't change overnight. But I think he's over it now. But anyway, it's nice to see.
Right. American hustle like hip hop school. Hey, what's up, man? Oh my god. What in jail? Yeah.
형이 더 하거든요. 그래? 안돼 안돼. 할 거면 빨리 신세븐. 이 사람이 설탕이면 나야?
제가 춤을 좀 워낙 좀 지금 기깔나게 추거든요.
What the?
야 이거다 됐다. 좋아 저 뭐야? 레몬스.
내가 저렇게 생겼냐?
이제 다 먹을 겁니다. 예.
최근 들어 제게 하나 없어졌어요. 그 제가 입고 있는 것 같아요.
태양이에요.
만 명이 넘는 무대에 설 수 있는 래퍼가 과연 이 대한민국 바닥에 몇 명이나 되려나 난 랩으로 유명해지겠단 꿈을 꿔 다시 누군가의 꿈이 될 거야 Feel my mind.
Well, thank you for being with me today. Man, it's nice to see that the now I really get why it's called reflection. You know, the whole thing it starts from where they talk about and shows how rigid and oppressive K-pop idol scene is and the training system. And then it comes out to later on RM feeling so hurt. But RM is RM. Yeah, he figures it out at the end. Didn't take that much time. That, of course, for him, it was years and years, you know, all the training period or when he first came out, you know, probably was hurt. And people are calling him names even before. So, but yeah, it's all about him, you know, and these thoughts could have been reflected on his later albums, you know. The whole Persona series, it's love yourself type of a deal. The that core might have stemmed from his experience, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It just. By the way, the while I was watching, what I said about the like Amber and those members kind of bothered me a little bit. I'd like to clarify. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with the companies and those idols who quit being a trainee or you know. It just I was trying to say there's always both sides to a story, and the market. There's a way how things work. They're all companies of people. There's a market. People who want certain things, and you give them certain things, and it's my belief that there were a lot of smaller companies and even the big companies. A lot of bad things were done or unfair practices or things like that. Yeah, of course, it existed, but all in all, I like to say my view is that it was difficult for both sides, and they really did try. And I was just trying to say, like, Amber, you know, her skin color of all things were, you know, she wasn't light enough. That might have been, it's a terrible thing, but I wasn't making light of it. What I was saying was that I really don't think Amber meant it. I mean, she pointed it out, but the context might have been different. You know, because Amber was such a departure from everyone else, and And you know, they did try to broaden and break that mold. Actually, musically too, effects. They tried a lot of different kind of music that was just experimental too. So I think respect has to be given on both sides, you know. And maybe it was because I don't know, there are 5 of them, and if 4 is really, let's say, fair, and 1 is just lightly fair, but that person would look very dark, you know. It's aesthetically speaking. Maybe that's what they were working on. Uh, I'm not on the side of the company, but it just I try to look at both sides. I really do, and uh, it is so easy. It's so much easier to look at only from the idol's side or fan side, because fans love their idols and they're emotionally attached to the your group and the music and the personalities within that idols, and anyone or anybody saying bad things or anything, uh, and you become very protective, and it would be very difficult to see the side of the company, wouldn't it? It would, same for me. I mean, um, anyway, um, so I hope you guys don't get it wrong. I'm just trying to explain how things were and how things worked. That's that was my side of it. So anyway, thank you very much again, uh, and I'll see you guys on the deleted scenes. I think I'll cover that next time. Bye bye.